whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's art, what has to say from the very start. Beyond the end of the day, after latest fuck, what else is there? Admitting you're stuck, but Mr. Nelson don't care. Behold, Mr. Nelson don't care with the latest fuck. What else is there? Admitting you're stuck, but Mr. Nelson don't care. Watch Mr. Nelson don't care. Watch Mr. Nelson draw. Listen to him tell his tales and see what you saw. All whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's art, hear what has to say from the very start. Beyond the end of the day, after latest fuck, what else is there? The minute you're stuck, but Mr. Nelson don't care.
All right, I'm using a different microphone. I keep trying this setup. Other times it sounds sort of okay, and other times it sounds god awful. So I don't know. But the soundboard has all this stuff on it. If that worked at all, I'll never know. Well, I'll know later if I watch my own show. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. And all that good stuff. So, hope you had a happy Halloween. Yeah. Did you get a lot of candy? Yeah. I didn't. Because it would kill me. It would kill you. Okay. Nodak says hit the like button, of course. Nodak says the soundboard did work. I heard the laughing and now the clapping. And I assume you hear me. So still, I don't think the mic is as good as the old one. And but I was repositioning things and I'm trying a different position with the camera and whatnot to see if I handle this better this way. Although, I thought I was getting pretty good at drawing from this position. Certainly on the Bill Schultz drawing, that one was pretty good. So, little Lemmi was Pat's guest tonight, so I figured, well, if I'm going to do a live stream, that'll tell me who to draw, Not all that familiar with Lemmi. I see her around here and there in different, really, clips on the shows. Because I can't keep up with things. But he was a cool guest. And so thought, well, I took a screenshot and we'll go by that. You know, one thing that makes things easy is glasses and a hat. And you just go ahead and put that in there. So she had a hat on. The lady in the hat having a chat with Pat. Mm, yes, yes, yes. Um, so there we go. That's nice. Yeah. So I put out quite a few horror movie reviews. I finished the X trilogy. That doesn't mean it was a trilogy and now no longer is one. No, no. The first movie was simply called X because the premise was some people who rent a property to film a porno in it. And, well, murder ensues. So then there was a prequel to it called Pearl, which is all about a crazy murderous, well, murderous old lady who was jealous of the younger girl and also really into her. This was one horny old broad, you know. And that was also part of the problem. And but anyway, hence the motive of the murders, at least in that case. If you paid attention, you realize she's probably been killing people for quite a while. Anyway, her name was Pearl, and so the sequel tells her story. And hey, how'd she get like this? Well, she didn't really get like it. She just was born that way. Uh, 'Cause, well, that's what her mother said. Um, so, and both X and Pearl are pretty good. And period pieces, you know, and all that. And that I thought they did a fairly decent job on it. And it was also the first time I'd seen the new Superman actor, David Cornsweet. His name is David Cornsweet. I never thought about corn sweating, but well, now you do. Anyway, he's going to be the new Superman in James Gunn's take on the character. Will be out next year. But anyway, so he was in the second one, and you got a lot of details about Pearl, and not the least of which is, I think, why she does not like blondes. Oh, I mean, part of the reason she was obsessive about the Maxine character in the first movie in X was because in her younger days, hey, she looked exactly like Maxine, and well, it's because she was played by the same actress. Yeah. But anyway, and I didn't even think of it at the time, but apparently that was the actress named Mia Goth. Apparently was playing old lady Pearl with in the makeup and everything. I mean, thought it was kind of obvious it was someone in makeup, but nevertheless, uh, that was the deal, and they were similar in their belief that they were special and destined for greater things. In the case of Pearl, well, that didn't happen. And of course, she was of the impression that the world was just against her and all that kind of stuff. And really, everyone else's fault. But no, she was just batshit crazy, and really horny. There's not as much. There's no, the first movie had the porn scenes and all that because they were, well, that was their job. They were making one, and So you had a lot of nudity and sex in that one. The second one, not so much. Superman was trying to seduce her by showing her some stag films and saying, "Hey, you'd be great in these movies," you know. And that's the deal that he was doing there. And but that's about it. So, but still, yeah, she was really driven by her desire for fame and all of that, and wanting to escape the farm she was stuck on, and all this sort of stuff. Plus, her husband was all fighting World War I. Ah, boy, all kinds of pressures, you know. So of course she just had to start killing people. But at one point, she sees this. She comes upon this scarecrow, and of course, this is after the she first met Superman earlier, and well, he kind of got her all hot and bothered, you know. So she comes upon this scarecrow and starts making out with it. Just more of the elements that old Pearl had some problems, you know. Oh boy, she just really needed a man, you know. What are you gonna do? Her husband ran off to fight World War I, and I know it was made fairly recently, so I guess uh, maybe they were influenced by the pandemic because you know the Spanish flu broke out at the time, and everybody masked up then too. You know, so there was some of that discussed in the film. But anyway, uh, overall, pretty good film. You know, creepy as all get out, and you know, disturbing and everything. All the things you can expect from a horror movie. But a horror movie that doesn't involve the supernatural, other than you know, boy, something was touched by evil here. Oh yeah, it was her. But anyway, so then the final film, uh, Maxine. So it's like, hey, what became of Maxine after she survived the first movie? Uh, Pearl didn't. Maxine got her in the end. Well, you jump to 1985, I believe, and although it does capture elements of the era and stuff like that, and I can see exactly what they're doing, and I can't say they weren't successful. They pretty much were, and that the plot of the film is very much in line with a lot of cheesy '80s movies, uh, where they would try to do like a Death Wish scenario with a female character, and of course, I immediately blank on the ones that were made. I think there was like a couple of films called Angel, and it was like this prostitute who becomes a vigilante, something like that. And then I think Linda Blair did a movie that was like what Savage Streets or something. She was a vigilante. Forgetting all the things, but that kind of deal. Uh, you know, this was one lady you don't mess with, and that kind of thing. So basically, there's a killer on the loose, and is particularly fascinated with Maxine. And then, oh, it's a big reveal, and not really. Um, and that's how she deals with that. And but I just didn't find it as impressive as the first two. But still, can't say it's bad because it isn't. And there's a couple of things that it gives me a chuckle, and it's a bit of a parody of those films. And to a large extent, that's true of the others. The X was very much in line with late '70s. Uh, well, porn, of course, but also it's like Boogie Nights meets Friday the 13th or something like that. You know, and it captures the era and sentimentalities of it and the styles and whatnot. Uh, so Pearl, although Pearl is a little, earlier in time, it actually the trappings of it is more evocative of a later era when they're still in the silent movie era, but the titles and, the fonts of them and everything in the presentation of the credits, and how the movie ends, stuff like that is, more in line with later movies of, the talkies, as they called them then, uh, of, the, 30s and whatnot, and a good bit of it is just at least styling wise, it was looking like, akin to, Wizard of Oz. "Oh, look, she's this happy little lonely, well, I guess not happy, farm girl. Isn't that nice?" And then she kills so, "Oh, we're not in Kansas anymore." And, so but it did have that, and especially the closing credits was she does these expressions. Yeah, it's pretty good. Um, but it, had a lot of the attributes and style of the filmmaking of the time. Um, again, a somewhat later time than, 1918, which is when the movie's set. But anyway, pretty good, and so well, and I guess in that aspect, Maxine does a better job, of that because, it does look like it happened in the '80s. Um, so, all in all, uh, I had fun with it, and, but one of the things is, it's a fun romp, through the trilogy, but it needs to just stay that way. I don't think it would be advisable to do another one. And I can see what becomes of Maxine when she's the old lady and the younger girl shows up and it's all, she's jealous and everything. Does she just turn totally evil and kill the girl? Because the thing about the people Maxine's killing, they kind of had it coming. I don't know about Kevin Bacon's character that he plays in here. I mean, he's a creep and an asshole, but I mean, geez, I don't know. I don't know. That's a great thing. I mean, well, man, does he pay for it pretty bad in there. Um, but but a fourth movie, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see the team do something else, and probably a different genre altogether. Because the actress Mia Goth, she does a really great job, and she has to carry these films. I mean, because she's the focus of it, and I gotta admit, I was impressed. So, so there you go. That as far as new films, that was the one I did. I finished off. I was intending to do 3 films, uh, from the bygone era of '70s and, I guess really early '80s with The Exorcist, which I did the other 2 of Exorcist as well, The Omen, and, the, Amityville Horror, and, concluded Amityville Horror was, the worst and, of the 3. It's pretty bad. Okay. No deck 1, 2, 3. The only problem I have, uh, I guess, with Little Lemmy is whenever I hear her name, I get the song "Little Willie" by Sweet stuck in my head. Oh well, that happens. Holy crap! I had no clue that Pearl was a prequel to X. I watched both of those without that knowledge. You just blew my mind. Really? Wow! It's the same farm and everything, you know? And, yeah, that was her as the old lady. And, you watch Pearl and you realize how she became that disgusting, old, homicidal, horny lady. Carla Burton says, "Hey Douglas, I saw you hosting on X." Oh, good. Well, welcome aboard. Nodak 123. Pearl and the old lady were the same actress. I'm learning a ton. Yep. Nodak 123. Does an alligator show up in Maxine? No, that's the problem. Yeah, they needed to figure out how to make that happen, but they didn't. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been something. I don't know how they wouldn't have been able unless they went to a zoo. It takes place in Los Angeles this time around because Maxine's pursuing Hollywood and all that. But damn, that's too bad. Anyway, Stealthus, yep, Stealthus. Sorry, only the first one. Stealthus, shit, only in Pearl. Oh, I totally disagree. I'm sorry. Stealthus, Neon Demon was better. I haven't seen that one, so I don't know. Stealthus, the substance is pretty good too. Looks lovely. Yeah, that's one on the list. I just didn't get to it in time to be a part of my October horror movie reviews type thing. It doesn't matter. I can still get to it just because October is now over. In case you didn't know. Turns out it ends. Yeah. So all the ghosts and goblins go back to the nether realm until next year. That's how that works. So everything should just be fine. Everything's great. Hmm. Well, we'll soon get a clue whether we have any hope for anything getting better in just a few short days. Yeah. There we go. Now let's see. Missing my other marker. I really hate it when a marker goes missing. So, what the hell did? Oh, Amityville Horror. Yeah, based on a true story. Well, there was a house. Uh, the guy did murder his family in there, and this other couple quickly moved into the house, and then left like a month into staying there because it said the place is haunted and all kind of crazy crap going on. Ended up getting a bestseller out of the deal, and then a movie. But wouldn't you know it, made it all up. But whatever, who cares? Was the movie any good? No. No, it really isn't. Uh, you get topless Margot Kidder. That's something. Don't really have a problem with any of the actors in it. It just, just you move from one scene. Oh, the weird thing happens. You move to the next one. Oh, the weird thing happens. And then, uh-oh, now suddenly her husband is thinking homicidal thoughts because, well, he looks just like the guy who killed his family, So if you look like a murderer and you move into the murderer's house, you become a murderer. But fortunately, they got out in time because had they stayed too long, oh no, the evil would have asserted itself. I guess I don't know. And then, of course, they were leaving and escaping and realized, oh my god, we got to get out. But then the husband realized, oh crap, the dog's still in the house, so he goes back to save the dog, and falls into Satan's septic tank or something. But it's okay, he escapes, and the dog helps out, even though the dog didn't recognize him at first because he was covered in blood and poo. And but hey, what a happy ending, And at least the house didn't, collapse in on itself like in Poltergeist. So it's still there, but funny thing is, all the other owners that moved into it, yeah, nothing's going on. And they got irritated because all the people would show up, take pictures of it. snoop around, just help themselves to their property, you know. Damned annoying. But the main thing about that house was just that cool, uh, you know, uh, how do you put it? Well, structure of it, I guess, with the windows that makes it look like a really angry, therefore evil face, especially with the chimney in the middle making the nose. I think that's the main thing. And then they had the separate storyline that was obviously filmed separately with the Broad Steiger being the priest that was supposed to bless the house and all that. And then that's the scene that gives you the main line that came from it. Get out. And it's just I think it says it twice, but it's like, get out. Real kind of weak at first, and then it's like, hey, he's not listening to me. Get out. You know? so, so you got the message, and then and it was stinking in there, and there were flies everywhere, and then the priest was just really sick ever since, and he was scared, and then eventually, uh, uh, he has an illusion while giving a sermon, and a statue falls on his face and blinds him, even though it really didn't. And then he just goes into a catatonic state and ends up in a monastery. And that's that. I don't think that's how it happened in the real story. I think there was a priest that, yeah, some weird stuff went on in there, and I heard some noises and everything, but that was about it. I don't think he ended up going blind and, you know, went into a vegetative state over it. But whatever, if you wanted to see what Lois Lane looks like topless, well, she gets topless. Yep. Anyway, that's how that one went, and just wasn't really anywhere near as good as Exorcist and The Omen. Let's see. Tass, the resident artist. Well, hello, Tass. By the way, I'm going to need the jacket back. Says, this is great, Dub. Also, I love the band Sweet. Well, isn't that sweet? Yes. Okay, good night, guys. Love you. Ah, she missed my suit joke. Oh, well. Nodak123, I'm picturing you watching this still in your Pat costume, fake smoking, LOL, good night. Stealth is the substance is full of Kubrick references. Oh, wow. Okay. Stealth is JD Vance was awesome on Rogan. Well, I can imagine he was. I'll have to check that out too. Soon to be heavily censored by YouTube, I'm sure. But nevertheless, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine why Kamala would turn that down. You know, why would she do that? I don't know. How long do you think she could do the word salad on 3 hours of Joe? Of course, I think one of her conditions was she wanted the show to only be an hour. um, Funny, never heard of any conditions that Trump asked for. That's huh. How does that happen? Oh wait, maybe add a little more definition here. Oh no. I just don't know what went wrong. But the really awful thing about all this, and really, it's actually absolutely terrifying. She could still win. Well, she could seem to win. um, yeah, I tried to joke about it, but oh dear God. So, gee, let's hope for the best. But, well, you know, I think we all know. So, anyway, there's my drawing of Lemmi. So, we'll have to do a little break here, put on some Nelson News, and then come back with the Photoshop and put some color on this drawing. Collar Burton, yeah, That was a good interview, Carla Burton. Yeah, and she wanted it somewhere else too. Yeah, I know. He was like, I think she was actually in Texas initially. He was saying, "Hey, we can make this happen at any time. If it's late at night, we can do that. If it's in the morning, we can do whatever." He was trying to do that, and she could have come through in Austin and taped the show. Nah, yeah, I go like, yeah. So, hmm. Carla Burton win. Yeah, that's the plan. But if all's fair, you understand, should be a good night. But well, good night. They're already saying, "Oh man, we can't call it. There's no way we're gonna call it election night." All these years, even in 2020, California, Florida, Texas, New York, they all were able to count their ballots. Those are the biggest states in the country. It's a lot of people, and they got it in that night. So I don't know how many toilets are going to back up, and we won't know the results until a month later. Yeah, yeah. So again, uh, for God's sakes, go vote and pray. That's that's all we can do. Anyway, Nodak123, Doug, you mean her platform of voting for Joy didn't turn you? I'm afraid not. Nodak. No, didn't quite get there. No. Carla Burton, GFY, haha. Good for you, I guess. I don't know. Oh well. Anyway, here comes Nelson News, and I'll come back with Photoshop.
This is a Nelson News Bulletin. Karen Reed, the woman who was accused of allegedly running over her cop boyfriend, gives her side of the story. Hello, I'm Mr. Nelson. Karen Reed said in a new TV special that she collapsed and did not want to be alive, yet she still is, when she learned her Boston cop boyfriend, John O'Keefe, had died. Reed maintained she was delirious, and confused, at how O'Keefe ended up dead in a snowbank on January 29th, denying prosecutors' claims that she deliberately ran him over with her SUV. I actually texted my father and I said, "I think John is dead," the financial analyst told Dateline for a 2-hour special. Yeah, you can see the remorse there, can't you? More like, why is this happening to me, And he called me and I said, "Dad, I don't want to be alive. Like, I don't want to live." Yeah, that's pretty obvious in the first statement. And I don't know what the hell happened. How did the night end up like this? Yeah, see? And how does this happen to me? When she saw her lover, she said she couldn't see his face or his hair, but knew it was him. She continued saying, "I knew it was something that didn't belong on that lawn." Well, yeah, typically a dead body is something you shouldn't leave on the lawn, but so there was the happy couple. There's her and her victim. O'Keefe was eventually taken to the hospital. Yeah, eventually, probably far too late. But anyway, there he was pronounced dead. He was found with 2 black eyes, skull fractures, and cuts on his face and the back of his hands, as well as claw-like marks on one of his arms. That's odd. SUVs don't have claws. Reed, who had been dating the police officer since Tweety, was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol, and leaving the scene of personal injury and death. I can't make heads or tails of this. During her trial this year, prosecutors accused Reed of mowing down O'Keefe with her Lexus SUV when she dropped him off at a Canton, Massachusetts house party with his cop friends. The pair had supposedly been out on a bar crawl earlier that evening where Reed allegedly had 7 drinks in just 90 minutes. Reed's lawyers, however, claimed that she was actually framed by law enforcement after O'Keefe got into a deadly fight with a fellow officer at the house party. The proceedings ended in a mistrial on July 1st when the jury did not reach a verdict after deliberating for 5 days. So did the defense prove that the other officer is guilty of this? You see, that's the problem with that, saying, hey, it wasn't her, it's this other guy. Well, anyway, you want to get both sides, because, hey, no matter who's accused, all suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty. And so far, they haven't, at least not in a court of law. But in the meantime, sure, O'Keefe is dead. But what about poor Karen? I mean, she's really inconvenienced by all this. Yeah.
This has been a Nelson News Bulletin.
Come on, do it. Move. Oh, all right, there you go. That's good enough.
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that part. Yeah. All right, let's see here. There it is. All right. Good deal. Carla Burton, I can't believe 4 places stopped counting all at some time, those pesky watermans. Huh. Okay. All right. Let's do Lemmy's, color of Lemmy's drawing. Here we go. This should be a good enough. I don't know if it was a navy blue hat. It probably was much darker than that. Maybe that. Fulton. Okay, and wearing glasses. So my rule is this can all remain uncolored. See, that's cartoon logic. Or rules, or something. Let's see. Do I just want to do it overlay? I could probably go ahead. Yeah. Wow. I actually made sure everything connected. I usually always screw that up. Little wonders never cease. So, oops. Now everything is dark. Naive play. Alright. Alright, you're going to be that way about it. Bloop. Let's see. So yeah, I didn't get around to substance. But I've only heard good things. So that's probably a very good sign. That's a cool movie. One recent movie I did see that was really creepy was stop motion. where this crazy broad who was pretty dominated by her mother uh, was learning from her mother how to do stop motion animation, and good lord, and it's got stop motion animation in it, which of course is appropriate, but that's a really unsettling movie. So be forewarned, but a lot of work, that stop motion animation stuff. Uh, a skill and art of a bygone era. But at least it happened here. Not a happy ending. But it's the sort of thing that happens when your mom develops really crushing arthritis. That's what happened. The she couldn't do her stop motion animation anymore because she couldn't get her hands to function. So she basically had to bark orders at her daughter to do it, who was interested in following in mom's footsteps, to learn the craft and all that. But of course, the frustration is her mother is constantly, no, this way, don't you move. It was like that. And the frustration for the mother is that it's not the same as moving your own hands. So she's, you know, and since they're working uh, with these puppets they've made to be the characters in the film, can you can you guess what the daughter is being turned into? That's right. Plus the obvious stresses of it all, and the guilt and shame that her mother's suffering so terribly. Uh, but at the same time, that doesn't give her a license to push her daughter like that. Which, well, the daughter just couldn't handle it. She loses her mind until a strange visitor comes along. I don't want to spoil everything. So it was well done. Just all creepy and stuff. There was a couple of these films, that were not well known. They were put out like last year. Some maybe maybe that one was 24. I think most of them put out in 23. But anyway, I did a bunch of them for the Nielsen ratings, and the more I think about it, I think that one was the most compelling and impressive. There's another one about this park ranger lady who there's a bunch of people going missing in the woods, and of course, there's some sort of supernatural reason for it and all that. And it wasn't too bad. Uh, One where these people living in a shitty apartment complex uh, get attacked by a bunch of spiders that I don't know came from North Africa somewhere, and it was illegal to have them, but this guy thought it was cool to have exotic animals and creatures and whatnot. Well, just so he can have his crappy little hobby, just about all his neighbors get killed. And it had its moments, but not entirely as good as, well, certainly nowhere near a stop motion. Um, what was the other one? Oh, this one where they're euthanasia has become the law, and you have to do it. And it was kind of a dark comedy about this crappy family and how they turn on each other, about who's gonna go take the dirt nap for the benefit of all mankind and whatnot. But, well, that one was called Humane. The spider one, Infested. And then there was another, yeah, one called For Sale, and it was about this a-hole salesman, and all of a sudden, I can't even remember how he lost his job, but he loses his wife kicks him out, and the marriage is over, and then he loses his job, so he's in really bad shape. But then he comes upon this ad of this real estate company looking for salesmen, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I can sell anything," because he knows how to BS. So he goes in, he gets it, and uh, he gets a shot at it, and the guy is like, "Well, look, if you can sell this property, then you can write your ticket here." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." So he goes to the house, and the guy even lets him live in it because he doesn't have a place to stay. 'Cause, the wife threw him out, and of course, the house is haunted. So it's more of a comedy than horror, and that sort of thing. Um, the concept's not bad, and some of the execution's not bad either. And but it kind of fell flat. But I appreciate the effort. But a lot of it was like, golly, he's such an a-hole, who cares? And and almost at the end, suddenly he grows a heart of gold. But I mean, there was one line he wouldn't cross, so I guess that kind of works out. It was cheaply made, but it didn't matter. Uh, 'Cause, I don't know, the concept was pretty good. And eventually, I got to get to the what do you call it? The other Omen movies, because I haven't seen them in a long, long time. So I reviewed the first one, so I might as well get back to those. But I'm pretty sure I'll conclude that the first one's the best one of the batch. The bitch. Okay, there we have it. Probably. Oh, go ahead and just do that. Making the hair look too gray. I'm gonna put some red right into your hair. I'm gonna put some red right into your hair. Girl, look at your hair. Oh my god. There we go. Guess that'll. Whoops. Whoops. I'm just creating more work for myself. For Sunday comics, I'm gonna have to look up something. Probably just do another Blue Beetle one. That's kind of the mainstay. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of those. Now that, now that the Halloween season is over, don't have to read a horror comic, but of course, eventually I'll get to one. Well, they got all these musical tracks that I've used for a long time, and now all of a sudden everything is getting claimed, even though the where I downloaded it, and then yeah, where I downloaded it was all this public domain stuff. It's getting to the point. If it wasn't one of Kevin MacLeod's, then you can't use it. I mean, it's no big deal because it's just a claim, but it's still annoying as all fuck. And there's a couple of them where I never did hear back about because I bought the license to them, and it's some entity in Greece or whatever claims it. And I'm like, I don't even think that's all the only up and up, and yet it. And then sometimes it'll just quietly the claim goes away. It's like wasn't legit, was it? Oh, there she is. It's Lemmi. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll have to figure out some background later. Always thinking I'll go back and change out the thumbnail for the live stream with the actual drawing I did. Yeah. Because unfortunately, I haven't yet found a wormhole anywhere. Of course, I've only looked in the backyard so that I could travel back in time and, go ahead and prearrange that. And then, hey, look, it's the drawing. How do you do that? Because, I mean, this is live. It's live, isn't it? It's like, I pre-taped all of this and I'm just talking over it. Hey, that would be an idea. That's also a lot of trouble. But willing to find a wormhole and, completely violate the laws of physics just to have a thumbnail, I can't think of any other reason why you would do something like that. You poked a hole through reality just for a thumbnail. Yeah, that's what I did. You violated reality. Yeah, that. Well, there we have it. Another drawing done. Another win for the sin. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Not too much. Okay. Carla Burton, I can't. Okay, foreplay. Yeah. Nodak 123. Have you seen the 2 platform movies on Netflix? They're called Platform. No, I haven't. I'll have to look for that, I guess. Nodak 123 looks great. So we'll go with that. Not less filling. So there we are. The Lemmi drawing. Oh, looks like everybody left anyway. So, all right. Thanks for showing up. And hopefully I can do another one. Well, it probably won't happen till Monday at the earliest, if that. And I'll see you then.
Watch Mr. Nelson draw. Listen Listen to him tell his tales. See what you saw. All whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's heart. Hear what has to say from the very start. Beyond the end of the day, after late as fuck. What else is there? Admit it, you're stuck. But Mr. Nelson don't care. Watch Mr. Hill tell his tales. Let's see what you saw. All whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's art. Hear what has to say from the very start. From the very start. Beyond the end of the day. After late as fuck. What else is there? Admit it, you're stuck. But Mr. Nelson don't care. Don't care.